The sky over planet Velura was dark and heavy, filled with thick brown clouds that never moved. The air smelled like metal and dust. People said this place was cursed, a place where even light did not like to stay. But a young human man named Rian Hale walked through the muddy path without fear. He had come to deliver supplies to a repair station nearby, but something strange had pulled him into this broken part of the settlement. As he walked, he heard a soft sound. A sound that did not belong in such a dead place. It was the faint cry of a child. Rian stopped. The sound came again, weak, tired, and full of pain. He looked left and right, but there were only rusted metal walls, broken machines, and old containers lying around. No one else was walking here, no human, no alien. Nothing alive that should cry like that. He followed the sound slowly, stepping carefully through the mud. The mud was thick, almost like glue. Every step made a loud slurp. Rian felt a strange pressure in the air, as if someone watched him from far away. Then he saw movement behind a cracked metal tank, a small hand. Thin, shaking, covered in dirt. Rian froze for a moment. Then he moved closer. When he leaned forward, his breath caught in his throat. There, sitting on the ground, was a tiny alien girl. She looked no older than 6. Her skin was a soft purple shade, but it was turning pale because of hunger. Her silver eyes were half closed, and her thin arms trembled as she lifted something to her mouth. Rian blinked in shock. She was eating mud. Thick, dirty mud. She scooped it with her small fingers and pushed it into her mouth as if she had nothing else to survive on. No, no. Rian whispered, "Hey, stop. Please stop." The girl's hand froze. She looked up at him with wide, empty eyes. She did not speak. She only stared, scared and confused. Rian knelt in front of her. His heart felt heavy. He slowly reached out and gently took her wrist. "You don't need to eat this," he said softly. "It's not food, it will hurt you." The girl did not pull back. She only watched him with slow, blinking eyes. There were marks on her arms, old scars, bruises, and dirt that looked like it had been there for days. Maybe weeks. "Where is your mother?" Rian asked, keeping his voice soft. "Where is your family?" The girl shook her head. "Not left, not right. Just a small trembling shake. Behind them, Rian heard quiet whispers. He turned and saw a few aliens standing far away in the shadows. Their faces were hidden, their eyes filled with fear. None of them moved closer. None tried to help her. An old alien man lifted his hand slightly and pointed at the girl. "She is alone," he said with a shaking voice. "Her mother is dead. Killed by bad people. You should walk away, human." "Do not get involved," Rian frowned. "She's a child. She needs help." The old man shook his head. "Help will bring danger. People watch her. People who do not want her safe." Rian looked around. The shadows behind the broken structures seemed darker than before, almost alive. He felt eyes on him, cold, silent, watching with a strange hunger. But then the small girl reached forward and grabbed Rian's shirt with her weak hand. Her eyes, empty moments ago, now showed a tiny spark of hope. A silent plea. "Don't leave me." Rian looked down at her. Then he looked at the shadows. His heart made the decision faster than his mind. He lifted the girl gently into his arms. She weighed almost nothing, like a bundle of sticks. Her head dropped weakly onto his shoulder. Immediately the shadows moved. Something or someone stepped back quickly, more whispering, more watching. Rian felt the air grow colder. He took a step back, then another. He could feel danger tightening around him like a rope. The girl's small fingers pressed into his shirt, trembling. Rian swallowed hard. "It's okay," he whispered to her. "I'll take care of you." But as he turned to leave, he saw another symbol scratched on a metal wall, a mark he had never seen before. Symbol that glowed faintly in the dark. A warning. Or a promise. Rian did not know yet. But this moment, this choice to save a starving alien girl, was the start of something much bigger than he ever imagined. And somewhere in the darkness, the people who hunted her had just marked him too. Rian carried the little alien girl in his arms as he walked quickly toward his small home on the edge of the settlement. The mud-covered ground slowed him down, and every few steps he glanced behind him. The shadows seemed heavier, as if they followed him silently. The empty metal streets echoed with his footsteps, and the child's weak breathing pressed against his chest. When he reached his home, he gently pushed the door open. The place was simple: one room for living, one for sleeping, and a small food station. It was quiet, safe, and warm. He closed the door quickly and locked it. The girl's eyes blinked slowly as she looked around. She seemed confused to see clean walls and light. Rian knelt and placed her carefully on a soft blanket. "You're safe now," he said softly. "No mud, no hunger." He walked to the food station and warmed a small bowl of soft bread mash mixed with warm broth. It smelled gentle and sweet. When he came back, he knelt beside her and held the spoon near her mouth. The girl sniffed the food, her eyes wide. Then she took a small bite and froze, her eyes filled with emotion. Then she began to eat, not too fast, not too slow, just careful, unsure if she was allowed to enjoy real food. Rian smiled. "Eat as much as you want. There's more." She looked up at him as if she didn't believe this kindness was real. After eating half the bowl, her hands stopped shaking. But she still didn't speak, not one sound. "What's your name?" Rian asked gently. She shook her head again. That same small trembling shake. She didn't know how to answer. Or maybe she was too scared to speak. Rian pointed to himself. "Rian," then he pointed to her. "You?" She looked at him with soft silver eyes. Then she pressed her hand to her chest. He tried to guess. "Laya? Leary?" She blinked twice. Rian smiled gently. "Leary, okay, your name is Leary." For the first time, a tiny spark of warmth appeared in her eyes, but the peace did not last long. While Leary rested, Rian stepped outside to bring in the supply box he had dropped earlier. The air felt colder than usual. A strange stillness covered the street. When he bent to pick up the box, he noticed something scratched into the dirt, right in front of his house door. The same glowing symbol he had seen near the metal tank. It wasn't glowing now, but its shape was sharp, carved deep into the ground. It looked like a warning or a claim. Rian stared at it for a long moment. Who did this? Just then, from the corner of his eye, he saw a figure standing far away at the end of the street. Someone tall, someone still, someone watching him. But when he blinked, the figure slipped behind a metal structure as if it had never been there. Rian felt his chest tighten. Was someone following them? Why? Who wanted Leary so badly that they watched her even now? He picked up the supply box and rushed inside. When he closed the door, Leary looked up at him with worry. She sensed something was wrong. She tugged his sleeve gently and pointed toward the door. "It's nothing," Rian lied softly. "You don't have to worry. No one will harm you." But Leary shook her head quickly. Her small hand drew a shape in the air, the same shape as the symbol outside. Rian's eyes widened. "You know this?" She nodded. He grabbed a small tablet and stylus. "Can you draw?" Leary hesitated, then slowly took the stylus. Her grip was weak, but she drew the symbol carefully, perfectly. Then she added 2 more small symbols next. 2 at once Rian had never seen before. He asked calmly, "What does it mean?" Leary's breath shook. She pointed at herself. Then she pointed at the symbol. Rian felt his blood run cold. "Does this symbol mean you?" Leary nodded. He whispered, "Are you marked? Are they hunting you?" Her small hands trembled. She pointed to her heart, then to the door, then made a soft motion like running. "You saved me. But danger is still outside." Rian swallowed hard. Who would hunt a small child? Why would they chase someone so weak, so hungry, so helpless? He didn't know the answer, but he knew one thing for certain. He could not let her go. He could not leave her alone. "Leary," he said softly, "you will stay with me. I will protect you. I promise." She looked at him with deep fear, but also deep trust. As night came, Rian heard soft footsteps outside again. Someone was watching. Someone who knew the symbol. Someone who wanted Leary back. But Rian stayed awake all night, sitting by the door with a tool in his hand, listening for danger. He didn't know that this was only the beginning. The next morning, the sky over Velora was still dark, but something about the air felt different, heavier, colder, as if the night had left a warning behind. Rian barely slept. He had stayed awake with Leary resting beside him, her small hand holding his sleeve the entire night, afraid he might disappear. When Rian slowly stood up to prepare food, Leary followed him with her tired eyes. She didn't speak, she still hadn't said a single word, but the fear in her silence spoke louder than anything. He prepared a warm drink and placed it in front of her. "It's okay now," he said. "You're safe here." But Leary looked away, shaking her head. Rian noticed she kept glancing at the window as if expecting something or someone. She held her shoulders tight, her small frame trembling every few seconds. "Leary," Rian said softly, "if something is scaring you, you can tell me. You can draw it again if speaking is hard." Her eyes softened a little at his gentle tone. She nodded slowly. Rian brought the same tablet from last night and placed it on the table. "Can you show me more? Why do they chase you? Who are they?" Leary held the stylus tightly, almost too tightly for her small hand. Then she began drawing. First, she drew the symbol, the same sharp curved shape. But then she added something new, a second symbol behind it, a shape that looked like a crown but broken in half. Rian leaned forward. "This means royalty?" She shook her head. Then she pointed to the broken crown and tapped the screen twice. "Broken. Fallen, hunted." The meaning became clearer. He whispered, "Your family, your mother. She was part of them?" Leary's hand froze. Her silver eyes filled with tears. She dropped the stylus and covered her face. Rian gently lifted her hands. "It's okay, I'm here. No one will hurt you." But the truth that Leary showed him was bigger than he expected. The symbol was not just a mark. It was a warning, a sign of someone who carried a dangerous legacy. Rian sat beside her. "Leary, is your mother really dead?" She hesitated, then shook her head slowly. Rian felt the world stop for a moment. "But everyone said she was killed," he whispered. "Are you sure?" Leary nodded firmly this time. "Then where is she now?" he asked. She pointed to the door, but not outside. She pointed to the symbol carved outside the house. As if saying, "Mother was here. Mother is near. Mother is watching." Rian's breath caught. "Your mother came here?" Leary nodded again. Before Rian could ask more, a loud beep echoed from the door panel. An early warning alarm. Someone was very close to the house. Rian stood up fast. He checked the small monitor connected to the outside scanner. A shadowy figure stood near the corner of the street, half hidden but unmoving, not approaching, not leaving, just watching. Leary panicked and crawled backward, hiding under the small table. Her eyes filled with terror. Rian shut the monitor and knelt beside her. "It's okay, Leary. I won't let anyone touch you." But she shook her head violently and pointed again at the broken crown symbol. Rian understood. Whoever stood outside wasn't just watching. They were connected to whatever destroyed her family. He sat beside her until she calmed a little. Then he gently said, "Leary, you don't have to be afraid alone. I will protect you, but I need to know the truth." Leary looked at him with tears still falling. Then she drew something again, fast, rough, full of pain. She drew herself. A small child, holding a glowing stone, and behind her, a taller figure, her mother reaching out with a hand, full of light. Then she drew dark shapes surrounding them. Soldiers, hunters, people, with masks. Her mother had tried to protect her, but failed, or maybe was forced to disappear. Rian's heart hurt to see such a painful memory drawn by such small hands. He whispered, "Your mother tried to save you, but she couldn't finish. You've been alone since then." Leary pressed her forehead against Rian's arm. She didn't make a sound, but her small body shook with silent crying. He wrapped an arm around her. "I won't let you be alone anymore." But deep inside, Rian was scared. If Leary's mother was alive, why hadn't she come inside? Why only watch from shadows? Why leave symbols instead of speaking? And who were the masked hunters that chased this little girl across the galaxy? Rian looked at the door again. Someone out there knew the truth. Someone out there wanted Leary back. Someone out there was waiting for the right moment to strike. As Rian held Leary close, he felt it clearly. This was no simple rescue. This was the beginning of a hidden war. Rian woke up the next morning with a heavy feeling in his chest. He had slept only an hour or two. The rest of the night was spent listening for footsteps, whispers, or anything that might harm the small girl now sleeping on his couch. Leary slept curled like a frightened animal, her hands still gripping his sleeve. Sunlight did not exist on planet Velora, but the sky lightened just a little, enough to show a new day had begun. Rian stepped outside quietly to check the ground. Near his door, the symbol was still there, but now there were two symbols. The second symbol was smaller, pressed into the mud almost like someone had knelt there, leaving behind a message. It was not the mark of danger. No, this one looked more like a tear, or a plea. Rian crouched down and touched the mark. It was still fresh. Someone had been there during the night. Someone close. Someone who did not want to hurt him. He looked up and scanned the street, but everything was empty, silent metal buildings and quiet wind. Still, he felt eyes watching him again, hidden from sight. He returned inside and found Leary sitting up, rubbing her eyes. Her small face lit up when she saw him, but the fear quickly returned when she looked at the door. "It's okay," Rian said softly. "Come, eat something." Leary sat down at the table. Rian handed her a warm bowl of food. As she ate, he sat across from her. "Leary," he said gently, "I think someone came here last night. Someone who knows you." She froze, her spoon halfway to her mouth. "Do you know who it is?" he asked. She didn't draw this time. Instead, she looked at him with sad, shining eyes, and placed her small hand on his chest, right over his heart. Then she tapped twice. Slowly, carefully. "Trust, but also danger." She took the tablet and drew a tall figure with long hair and glowing eyes. A woman. Then she drew a broken symbol on her chest. Her mother. Then Leary added a small line between the woman and her own figure. A line that meant, "She is close, but cannot come inside." Rian frowned. Why? Why can't she come in? Leary looked away and tapped the broken crown symbol. Then she pointed at herself, then at the door, then made the motion of hands being tied. Rian finally understood. Her mother was being hunted, even worse than Leary. If she stepped inside, she might lead the hunters straight to the girl. Rian let out a slow breath. "She's protecting you, even from far away." Leary nodded once. Just then, bang! A loud knock hit the door. Leary jumped, spilling her food. She crawled under the table, shaking hard. Rian grabbed a metal tool, tightened his grip, and moved toward the door. "Who is it?" he called out. A calm voice answered, "Enforcement Patrol. We received reports of a missing alien child." Rian's heart froze. He unlocked the smallest slit in the door to peek outside. 3 armored aliens stood there, tall, broad, and wearing black visors that hid their eyes. Each of them had the same symbol painted on their chest, the symbol Leary drew. The Symbol of danger. The hunters. The leader stepped forward. We believe you have taken something that does not belong to you, Rian glared. She's a child, not something. The leader tilted his head. Hand her over, human, for your own safety. Rian felt anger rise inside him. No. The other two soldiers stepped closer. We are authorized to search the house. Rian tightened his grip on the metal tool. You're not coming in. A long silence followed. The leader finally spoke again, his voice colder than before. You protect the child of a traitor. Do you understand what that means, human? Rian did not move. The soldier's visor glowed slightly. Her mother is as good as dead. And the girl you hide. She carries something powerful. Something the council wants. Rian felt a chill run up his spine. Before he could answer, a sudden sharp whistle cut through the air. The soldiers looked up, confused. A small glowing stone rolled across the ground and stopped at their feet. It pulsed with a soft blue light. The soldiers stepped back fast. That signal. One of them shouted. The leader cursed. She's nearby. Move. The three soldiers ran off into the distance, searching the shadows for the unknown woman who had thrown the stone. Rian shut the door quickly and locked it. Leary crawled out slowly, trembling, her eyes full of fear. Rian knelt beside her and held her gently. It's okay. They're gone for now. But Leary shook her head and pointed at the glowing stone outside before it dimmed. Her mother had thrown it. Her mother was saving them again. Silently, from the dark, Rian held Leary close and whispered, Your mother. She's fighting for you, and now I am too. But deep inside, he knew the truth. The hunters would return. And next time, they would not knock. The house felt too quiet after the soldiers left. Rian sat on the floor with Leary pressed against his side, her small hands gripping his shirt again, like she feared he might vanish if she let go. Her eyes stayed fixed on the door, as if she expected it to break open any second. Rian stroked her hair gently. You're safe. Your mother scared them away. She's protecting you. But Leary didn't look comforted. She pointed at the door, then tapped her wrist, the sign she had made earlier for time. Not safe for long. Danger will return soon. Rian understood. Then we'll be ready. He stood up and checked the windows, the locks, the walls. It wasn't much, just a small human shelter on a dangerous planet. But he would make it strong enough for the both of them. And for her mother, if she ever came inside. Leary followed him closely, watching him move like a small frightened shadow. Rian paused and knelt so they were eye level. Leary, he said softly, I need to know something. Why do the hunters want you? What do you have that they want so badly? She looked down, her fingers twisting nervously. Rian lifted the tablet again. Draw it, anything you can. Leary hesitated for a long moment, then finally took the stylus. Her hand trembled, but she began to draw anyway. First, she drew the glowing stone the unknown woman had thrown. Then she drew herself holding a different stone. This one inside her chest. Not in her hand, not in her pocket. Inside her. Rian's heart skipped. You carry something. Leary nodded. She drew a small star-shaped object inside her chest, glowing brightly. She tapped it twice, then drew hunters running after her. Rian tried to understand. Is it power? Energy? She shook her head. Is it a secret? A message? She shook her head again. Leary placed her hand on her chest and slowly, painfully, made the sign for life. Rian whispered, You carry life? She nodded. Then she drew her mother holding a similar star inside her own chest. But the light in that drawing was dim, almost gone. Rian felt a cold shock run through him. Your mother is dying? Leary's eyes filled with tears. She nodded slowly. Rian understood now. Leary wasn't just in danger because she was a child. She was being hunted because the life force her mother once carried, the royal energy. The ancient power had passed into Leary, The council wanted that power. The hunters were sent to capture it. And Leary's mother, once powerful, had lost most of her own strength trying to protect her daughter. Rian clenched his fists. "They won't take you," he said firmly. "Not while I'm alive." Before Leary could respond, the house lights flickered once twice. Then the main door panel beeped, the proximity alarm again. Rian's nerves tensed. Not again. He checked the monitor carefully. This time, it wasn't 3 armored soldiers. It was one figure standing very close to the door. Tall, thin, covered in a long travel cloak. Head lowered, hands hidden. Leary gasped softly and grabbed Rian's arm. Her eyes filled with recognition. Rian whispered, "Is it her?" Leary nodded so fast her hair shook. Rian hesitated only for a second before opening the smaller panel. A single silver eye stared back at him. A soft, tired voice whispered, "Please, open the door. Don't be afraid." Rian held his breath. The woman outside lifted her hood slowly. Her face was dirty, scarred, and exhausted. But her silver eyes matched Leary's perfectly. Leary's mother. She leaned weakly against the wall. "My child, I need to see her." Rian unlocked the door and pulled her inside before anyone could see. Leary ran to her instantly, throwing her arms around her mother's waist. The woman dropped to her knees and hugged her daughter tightly, crying silently into her hair. "I look for you everywhere," the woman whispered. "Every night, every shadow. I followed your heartstone until I found you." Rian stood back, shocked at their reunion. "Why didn't you come sooner? Why leave symbols instead of speaking?" She looked up at him with tired eyes. "Because the hunters chased me. And if I came too close, I would bring death to your door." She held Leary's face gently. "But I could not stay away anymore. They know where I am now. They are coming." Rian swallowed. "We'll protect you, both of you." The woman shook her head. "You don't understand. They want Leary because she holds what I cannot protect anymore." Rian nodded. "Her life force, she showed me." The mother touched her chest. "My heartstone is dying, hers is new. She carries the future of our bloodline. She must live." Before Rian could reply, a loud boom shook the house. The wall vibrated. The lights flickered again. The hunters had arrived. And this time, they were not here to knock. The house shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling. Leary screamed without sound and hid behind her mother. Rian grabbed both of them and pulled them toward the back of the room. "Stay low," he whispered. Another boom hit the wall. A crack spread across the metal panel like a spiderweb. Outside, voices echoed cold, sharp, and full of authority. "Open the door. You are hiding royal property." Rian clenched his jaw. "Property," he muttered. "She's a child." Leary's mother held her daughter close. Her breath was weak, unsteady. She looked pale, as if the journey to reach them had drained all her remaining strength. "Rian," she whispered, "we cannot fight them for long. They have weapons you cannot stop." Rian shook his head. "I'm not giving up, Leary." "I know," she whispered softly. "I came because of that. You have more courage than most warriors I knew." The wall burst inward. A metal panel flew across the room and slammed into the floor. Dust filled the air. Rian shielded the 2 females with his own body as 3 armored hunters stepped through the broken wall. Their black visors glowed red. Their armor hummed with power. The leader stepped forward. "The girl comes with us. Kill the mother if she resists." Leary's mother rose weakly to her feet. She pulled Leary behind her and faced the hunters. "No," she said, her voice shaking. "But firm. You will not take my child." The leader tilted his head. "You have no power left. Your heartstone is almost gone. You cannot fight us." She lifted her hand slowly. A faint white glow appeared, then faded like smoke. She collapsed. To her knees. The hunters laughed. Pathetic. Rian stepped forward before they reached her. He held a metal rod tightly, but compared to their weapons, it was nothing. Still, he didn't move aside. The leader aimed his weapon. Step away, human. This is not your fight. Rian shook his head. She is under my roof. That makes it my fight. The hunters raised their guns. Leary cried without sound, hugging her mother tightly. Rian took a deep breath. Then the lights flickered again. Once, twice, three times. A cold wind blew through the room, though no doors were open. The hunters froze. What was that? One of them whispered. Leary's mother looked up slowly, her weak eyes widening. She is waking. Who? Rian asked. But he didn't get an answer, because Leary stepped forward, her small hands shook. Her eyes glowed faint silver. She touched her chest where the star-shaped heartstone lived. Suddenly, a small pulse of light burst from her chest and filled the whole room. It wasn't bright enough to blind them, but strong enough to make the hunters stumble backward. No! The leader shouted. The child is activating. Rian didn't understand. Activating what? But Leary. She understood. She closed her eyes. Tears fell down her face, but her expression was calm. She lifted her small hand toward the hunters. Up high. Soft humming sound grew from her chest, low, gentle, but full of power. Then boo-oh-om. A shockwave burst out of her. It wasn't fire or lightning, just pure force, raw and clean. The hunters flew backward as if pushed by a giant, invisible hand. They crashed into the broken wall and collapsed, their visors flickering. Leary fell to her knees, gasping silently. Her small body shook as if the power had drained her. Leary! Rian ran to her and held her shoulders. Are you hurt? Her eyes opened slowly. The glow faded. She leaned against him, too weak to stand. Her mother crawled over, tears running down her cheeks. My daughter. You finally used your gift. Rian stared in confusion. What did she do? The mother placed her hand gently on Leary's back. She carries an ancient royal heartstone. It holds the life force of our people. It listens to her emotions, and today, it protected her. Rian helped Leary sit up. Will the hunters come back? Yes, her mother whispered. They will bring more, stronger, because now they know she is awake. Rian's jaw tightened. Then we need to leave. The mother shook her head. We cannot outrun them. They track her stone. They will follow us anywhere. He thought for a moment. Then he said, then we stop running. We find a way to end this. The mother stared at him with tired eyes. Are you willing to risk your life for us? Rian looked at Leary, this small child who once ate mud just to survive. You two are my family now, he said simply. I'll protect you both. The mother placed a shaky hand on his shoulder. Then there is only one choice left. We reveal the truth to the planet, Rian frowned. What truth? She looked at him, her voice trembling. The council killed my family and tried to kill me because I discovered something. They fear the power Leary carries. If we do not expose them, they will never stop hunting her. Rian nodded slowly. Then we expose them. But outside, the sound of heavy boots grew louder. The hunters were recovering, and the biggest fight was yet to come. The forest outside Rian's home was alive with shadows. Heavy boots cracked the dry mud, and the hunters were closing in fast. The air smelled of smoke and dust, and every rustling tree felt like a warning. Rian held Leary's hand tightly while her mother leaned weakly on his other side. We can't keep running forever, Rian whispered. We need a plan. Her mother shook her head. Running won't save her, but we can use her. The stone inside her. To show the truth, Rian frowned. The truth? Yes, she said. Her silver eyes glinted with determination. The council fears her power. They have hidden their crimes for too long. If we reveal what they did, Everyone will see. They cannot stop the galaxy from knowing. Leary looked up at Rian, tears in her silver eyes. Slowly, she placed her small hand on her chest, where her glowing heartstone lived. A soft, warm light pulsed, spreading like fire through the clearing. She did not speak, but her silent will filled the air, strong enough to make the hunters hesitate. Rian took a deep breath. Okay, we expose them. But how? Her mother whispered, we lead them to the broadcasting station. Let the galaxy see them. Let everyone witness the Council's crimes. The three of them moved silently through the shadows, Leary glowing softly in the dark, her steps guided by instinct and courage. Behind them, the hunters followed fast, relentless, but now wary of the child they had underestimated. They reached the old communication tower, a tall metal structure that still carried signals to the entire planet. Rian and Leary's mother led Leary inside. She touched the console with her small hands. The screen flickered and came alive. Symbols flashed as she focused, channeling her stone's energy into the broadcasting system. Outside, the hunters arrived, smashing the doors and charging inside. But the moment they crossed the threshold, Leary extended her hands. A pulse of soft silver light burst from her chest. It wasn't violent. It wasn't cruel. It was pure and undeniable. The hunters froze. Their weapons lowered slightly. Even Rian felt the force push him back, but not harm him. The screen above showed images not fake, not hidden. Video and data from the Council's secret vaults. Documents proving the murders of Leary's family. Videos of corrupt leaders plotting to capture and control the child's life force. Evidence that the Council had lied for years, hiding there. Crimes from the galaxy. Rian's heart pounded. The hunters tried to intervene, but the light from Leary's stone made it impossible. They stumbled backward, helpless. The mother whispered, "Now, Leary, show them the final truth." Leary closed her eyes. The light grew brighter, spreading beyond the tower walls, visible to everyone in the city. People stopped in the streets. Communications across the planet were hijacked by her pulse. The Council's crimes were exposed. The hunters fell to their knees, powerless and terrified. The leader tried to raise his weapon, but the energy around Leary forced him down. "Impossible, she cannot have this power," he shouted. Her mother stepped forward. "She does, and she will use it for good, to protect the innocent." Rian looked at Leary, her small figure glowing, her silver eyes filled with determination. "You saved them," he whispered. She blinked, and for the first time, she spoke, her voice soft but clear. "No. We saved each other." The city erupted in noise. People cheered, shocked by the truth revealed. The corrupt Council leaders were exposed, their guards fleeing. The galaxy now knew the courage of a small alien girl and the human who believed in her. Rian held Leary's hand and then her mother's. He whispered, "You are safe now, forever." Her mother smiled faintly, tears running down her scarred face. "Thanks to you, to both of you. You believed when no one else would. You showed the galaxy what humans are capable of." Leary hugged Rian tightly. "You saved me from mud. And from them, you are my family." Rian smiled, feeling the warmth of hope and love for the first time in years. "No, you saved me too. You taught me courage and loyalty and hope. Humanity can be more than we think." The mother looked at both of them and whispered, "The galaxy will remember this day, not for war, not for power, but for kindness, for protection, for hope, for humans." And as the sun, or what passed for sunlight on Velora, peeked through the brown clouds, the three of them stood together, surrounded by glowing light and peace, knowing that this small act of courage had changed the fate of a planet. Leary looked up at Rian. "What now?" He bent down, smiled, and said, "Now we live, we protect, and we make sure no one ever suffers like this again." And together, the human, the alien mother, and the child stepped into a new future, one where kindness and bravery could defy any darkness, and where even the smallest hope could shine across a galaxy.